Hello and welcome to Industry Spotlight with Creative First. Our guest today is Vineet Karnik, Head Sports, Esports and Entertainment, Group M South Asia, Group M Media India. Vineet is a highly accomplished professional with more than 25 years of experience in media, entertainment, and sports management. He's currently the head of sports, esports, and entertainment for the South Asian markets at Group M ESP. At Group M, he has been at the forefront of high profile, high value sponsorship and consulting deals in the business of sports and entertainment. Under him, Group M witnessed the launch of thought leadership for Indian sports and entertainment in terms of reports like Sport Nation in the Making and Showbiz, respectively. He specializes in formulating and directing strategies to promote products and services, steering marketing investment towards delivering business results for clients based on valuation and return of investments. Before joining Group M in 2006, he was part of the film fraternity in Mumbai, heading the film production and distribution business of Padmalaya Telefilms and Prasad Film Labs post-production studio. Vineet, welcome to this discussion with Creative First.
Thanks, Loita, for that comprehensive introduction. So kind of you. Thank you very much for having me on the show.
So, Vineet, you've been in the sports industry for almost 2 decades, but you did originally start your career in advertising. Tell us a little bit more about your journey and what made you transition from advertising into media, entertainment, and sports management.
Fantastic, Loita. So that's a very interesting journey actually, because unlike most people who plan their careers, plan their professional journey, a lot of things happen to me by default. Okay, so I mean the very fact that I came into the advertising business was by choice, obviously, after my graduation. But post that, a lot of things happened based on my learning experiences on what I actually practiced at my workplace. So, for example, my first job was in the Times of India, and that's when I realized that the ad sales market in terms of column centimeter those days, and then came the FCT, was very interesting, and a lot of advertising dollars were getting spent in that market, because obviously Times of India was ruling the roost those days from a media point of view. They still rule the roost though. Post that was the whole television transition from a one channel to a two channel. I still remember the DD National and DD Metro kind of a ecosystem going up to multiple channels, right up till today. I think we have 700 plus channels today on television, from a satellite television standpoint. To a massive digital overhaul. So if we called a 700 channel ecosystem as a fragmentation, imagine what kind of a fragmentation today we live in with the entire digital ecosystem in our on our fingertips and on our mobile phones, right? So actually speaking, I've been fortunate to see the journey of the growth of Indian media and advertising sector as such. So that's a very short summary of a top end thing. But coming to specifics, yes, I mean I started as an advertising professional, worked with Times of India, worked with Mudra Communication to join a completely different business stream, which is film production. Because what I realized while practicing advertising is understanding audience is going to be a very crucial part when you shape a career when you are young. And therefore advertising is one part of understanding audience, but movies is also a very interesting element of understanding audience, because the creatively making a movie in one particular language which actually goes pan India, uh, and people appreciating it and liking it, is a huge unique creative high point, right? And in a country like us, where every 150 to 200 kilometers the language change, the way we speak and communicate changes. Imagine our movie industry in terms of Bollywood, in terms of four South Indian languages, in terms of Marathi, Bhojpuri doing so well. So with Padmala, I got that exposure in terms of what goes into making a film. And those days, obviously, the production and distribution was very different and at an arm's length. So I was fortunate to get an opportunity to work with Padmalaya, where I also started their distribution office in Mumbai. Then moved to Prasad Labs, where the tricks of the trade, because that actually setup makes films look good, right? Without post production, you can't. I mean, that's what eventually goes to the audience. So that whole journey of advertising sales, media planning and buying through Mudra, getting into the reality of creative process, distribution, exhibition, and then coming back to my core in 2006 to Group M was one of the most fulfilling journeys of my life, I would say. But over the last 17 years that I have been in Group M now, from 2006 onwards, it's a complete different journey. So I would always break my journey in two parts: pre 2006 and post 2006. So while I spoke a bit about pre 2006, let me give you a quick sneak peek in terms of how life has been professionally post 2006. So when I came to Group M, ESP was all about entertainment. So ESP stands for Entertainment, Sports, and Partnerships. So our entire practice was focused on the entertainment interface, which was about movie tie-ups, in-film placement, celebrity endorsements. And today we have added two more layers to it, which is the OTT and the live entertainment, which is the award shows and the music concerts. So 2006 was all about unlocking that value and power of entertainment as a platform for the Group M set of brands. What actually happened in 2007 is India won the T20 World Cup in South Africa. The MS Dhoni win with his long hair coming to Mumbai, doing that whole carnival kind of travel from airport to Wankhede Stadium, and that great speech. Post that, guess what? BCCI launched the Indian Premier League, right? And the rest is history, as we say. 2008 onwards, sports as a sector completely took a very, very different turn. And today, I'm extremely happy to say that the lines between the entertainment and sports are only blurring. Right. So today, most of the entertainment superstars have got some element of interest as a franchise owner, as or some stakeholder in the entire sporting ecosystem. So from 2008 onwards, I got an opportunity to shape the sporting practice for Group M, and that's when we realized that there is a huge opportunity in cricket as a sport. And guess what? IPL obviously paved the way for multiple sports, and today we have got 10 plus leagues in the entire ecosystem. So from that point in time till now, there is no stopping by. And came 2012, you had Pro Kabaddi League, you had Indian Super League of Football in India. You had so many different leagues coming to India, and that's when we realized somewhere in 2014 that we need to take a position of evangelizing sport as a business, and therefore we started this publication called actually not a publication, a report called Sporting Nation in the Making, which is one of the first and perhaps the only as on date report on sports sponsorship market in India, which travels worldwide, and anyone who looks at Indian market today looks at our report and very happily uses it to enhance their knowledge, skill set, and maybe in some case their decisions in terms of how do they want to look at India from a sports sponsorship standpoint.
How has the sports industry evolved through the years in terms of consumption patterns?
So from a consumption pattern standpoint, obviously it's a very straightforward answer, Lohita, that typically if you look at the media rights cycle in 2008, IPL gave away the media rights for 10 years to Sony. That time it was television, right? But but immediately after the first 10 years, which is 2018, I think they broke that right cycle into two parts. One was TV and one was digital. And at that point in time, Star as a network won both these rights for Star Network on TV as well as Hotstar. And last 5 years, if you saw IPL, it was on TV and on Hotstar. So obviously, in the last 5 to 7 years, the journey from television has somewhere moving towards digital. So today, I would not want to get into whether television is higher or digital is higher. So there is a consumption of sports on television, and there is consumption of sports on digital as well. So today, if you see the rights that were sold by IPL last year for the next 5 years right cycle, Viacom has the rights for Geo platform on digital, and obviously Star has the rights for TV. So to summarize, I think we have come a long way from a one sport nation to a multiple sport nation, from a only TV viewing households to TV plus digital viewing households. And when I say digital, I would want to break that up in two parts. One is there is audience who's consuming sports on mobile phones. There is audience who's consuming sports on connected TV as well. So I think viewership patterns are, I would not say changing, they are fast evolving, because this change that we talk about is an evolution of the way Indians are consuming content. And make no mistake, sports is at the helm of that, because sports is the only content piece today which is promising appointment viewing. The rest of the entertainment today is predominantly gone at the catch up level, and you can watch the content whenever you want, wherever you want. But sports is one action that you would want to see live, and that's what I mean by appointment viewing.
So we were talking about patterns really evolving. So do you see its evolution into digital, possibly 70%, 60% digital? Any kind of forecast that you have in mind?
So right now, forecasting is something which is too early, because this is the first year when the rights of IPL are with two different right holders in media. One digital right holder is different, and television right holder is different, right? Till last year, the right holder was one. So this year, I'm calling it as year of discovery. When the question you're asking, we will get into answering that question maybe in the next 15 to 20 days, because the data that we have today is not enough to take a position in terms of where is the audience and what are they watching, whether they are on TV or on mobile phones or on connected TV. I think 20 more days for us to get that data, and we should be able to get to that answer slowly and steadily.
You mentioned that cricket has always been the lead sport when it comes to broadcasting and, people really consuming sports. Which are the other sports that you see, being in the forefront in the future?
So interesting. So today, as we see, I mean, if you look at the report, we are very clearly calling out our data in two parts. One is cricket and other is emerging sports. And if you have looked at the data today, cricket is almost 85% of the 14,203 crore number, and the emerging and the rest of the sports are about 15%. And that's exactly the reason why we are calling it emerging sport. But to answer your question, the couple of sport that come to my mind who possibly are going to be have created actually dent in the market, and have actually created an audience and a unique space for its own. So first and foremost is kabaddi. Great amount of traction for the sport and the league. Of course, football is a very popular sport. Indian youngsters predominantly watch and follow European football, and therefore ISL is not going to be very behind that. Maybe in the next 3 to 4 years, you will see football taking very fast turns, because ISL is really invested heavily on Indian grassroots, and therefore somewhere down the line we have seen a great quality change in the play that we see on television. So ISL football is the second sport, and of course, badminton is the third sport that comes to my mind, because from a performance standpoint, we have got great amount of talent and skill sets and world beaters in that sport. So if I have to name three sport after cricket, it will definitely be kabaddi, football, and badminton.
So Vineet, we all witnessed a huge surge in consumption of content during the pandemic. Do you see, especially for the sports entertainment, do you see this sustainable? There was a period where people were at home, and that may have resulted in a lot of viewership. But how do you see sustenance of this growth, and will it be, something that's consistent over the next 3 years?
Yeah, the growth actually has sustained, right? I mean, look at it. I mean, so if I have to give you a parallel from a report itself, 2019 the sports industry was a little over 9,000 crores. Okay, come 2022, it has not only uh, uh, corrected itself upwards, but it's actually almost almost gone up by 50%, right? I mean, from 9,000 odd crores to 14,000 crores, it's almost a 50%, over 50% jump. So I don't think we are talking about any impact of pandemic from an industry standpoint today. We have definitely gone over our estimations of 2019 itself and crossed that long back. So I think pandemic from an impact point of view, it's behind us for sure.
There are two emerging niches in the industry, which are gaming and esports. So, what's your outlook on these two industries, and what could be the favorable government policies to support these new emerging, entertainment and sports?
Again, like I said, the television and digital patterns on consumption are evolving. I would say the policies in terms of our governance and administrations are also fast evolving. I mean, you can see a change in approach every day. So, for example, gaming as a sector has got multiple legs to it. Okay, so one is casual gaming, one is real money gaming, and the third is fantasy games. Right, today fantasy games are a acceptable part of our ecosystem, and
Could you
today.
define it for our audience, the three games, just to kind of give our audience a better understanding of the three?
Okay, so if you look at casual gaming would be something like a Ludo, something like a Varolink, something like what we saw as BGMI, which is now banned, right? So these are casual games. Okay, real money gaming are your rummy circles and your poker kind of games. Okay, those are real money gamings where you actually play with your money. Okay, and the third sector is fantasy gaming, which is linked to sports. So, for example, Dream 11, My Circle 11, and stuff like that. Today, what I said acceptable is the casual gaming and the fantasy gaming as a sector, right? So the policies will keep evolving, but that sector is huge. And in fact, we came up with a report last year, our first report that we came up in that market, and a huge amount of encouragement there from an audience standpoint, predominantly in the casual gaming sector. Because if you look at platforms like YouTube and Loco, the kind of audience attention it has garnered for people who actually watch people play professionally is phenomenal. And therefore streaming platforms are doing so well from a gaming perspective, that there's only a scaling up from here on. But what I would like India to do more is look at a publisher space, because most of the games that today we follow or we play are not Indian games. I mean, when I say Indian origin games, the games are coming from a different market. So the three important elements into the whole gaming ecosystem. One is the platform, second is the publisher, and third is the gamer himself or herself. Yeah. So we are doing extremely well on the platform side. We are doing extremely well on the gamer side. We have got a lot of youngsters doing a great job in that part. But what we are not actually excelling is the publisher side. We need to invest our time, energies, our technology in terms of creating our own games at a local level, because most Indians today play global. I mean, games which are made abroad, right? So no sooner we have got games coming from India, I think that's the time when the industry will actually take a very different shape and form. One significant call out that I would want to do, Lohita, is in our estimations, and we estimated this in 2021, that somewhere esports as a sector, because I'm sure our audience understand the difference between gaming and esport. Esport basically is the part of gaming which is played professionally, okay, in an open environment. So, for example, the way IPLs are played in an open environment in stadiums, esport tournaments happen in an open environment where people actually go and watch gamers play. So esports as a sector has not taken off, and our estimation went wrong there, where we thought that come 2022 post pandemic, somewhere esports as a sector will come out of closet and grow itself. We haven't seen that as such, but we have hope in the second half of 2023, where we can see some of the esport tournaments being organized in India. So that's a bit of a slowdown there, but rest everything has come back, not only to normalcy, but we have actually done significantly well over 2019.
On the subject of cricket and football and kabaddi as sports, and we were also talking about government policies to support them. If India wants to become the sporting nation of the world, as the Prime Minister has envisioned India to be the content hub of the world, what could be the various, government policies that can be effective at a ground level from an infrastructure perspective? Making sports easy, making catchment areas more competitive, because that's what it will take to contribute if we want to make India a sporting nation of the world. So any thoughts on this?
Sure, Loita. In fact, we have embarked our journey long back. In fact, the sports budget at the union ministry level itself has been growing significantly. So, if I have to give you a perspective, our union our budget for sports has grown by 36% over 2022 in 2023, the budget which just happened a month back, right? So 36% is a significant position and attention which the finance ministry and government of India is putting there. A couple of initiatives which government has already started is the Khelo India initiative, the Fit India movement. Somewhere the TOPS program, which is a development of athletes, a program that Sports Authority of India has embarked. The infrastructure development that we see today happening. See, today we have got 10 plus sporting leagues, right? But have you ever seen a complaint or a news article from anybody saying that I don't know where to play volleyball, I don't know where to play basketball? So somewhere down the line, there are professional infrastructures being refurbished or developed simultaneously at some point in time. Huge amount of thrust from private sector as well. I mean, if you look at the initiative that JSW is taking through their Inspire Institute of Sports, is commendable. I think the facility that they have built in Vijayanagar, which is about 200 kilometers from Bangalore, is absolutely world class. Yeah, and today most of the Olympians are training. Our Olympians are training at that institute, and Neeraj Chopra is one of the poster boys who has come out of the Inspire Institute and won a gold medal for us in javelin, right? So that's the proof of concept. The initiatives which Tatas are taking over the years in terms of building talent, encouraging them, sponsoring them, is commendable. Look at what Reliance is doing through Reliance Foundation, the football program, the junior NBA program. These are some of the initiatives, a combination of private-public partnership initiatives taken by government and private sectors will eventually see us through. And the results are showing in, right? Every year on year, our medal tally in Asian Games, Commonwealth Games, or Olympics is only growing. It's not shrinking. So that is an encouraging sign. And I would say the effort continues. Obviously, more the merrier. In addition to what the public sector is already doing, I think we would need more private sector to come in and support the whole movement and help us drive that dream of beating the world in not only in team sports but in individual sports also.
Well said. And I think the whole focus of CSR in the company law, I think people should welcome that. Corporations should welcome that and encourage sports. Coming
Our public sector uses it very beautifully. So if you see the Indian oils of the world, the coal Indias, the sales of the world, Bharat Petroleum, Hindustan, these guys have done phenomenally well. The railways, all the athletes, they've been doing it for years together. But what the encouraging sign, Loita, is in the last 10 to 12 years, we have seen a lot of corporates coming forward. And that's the encouraging sign, and that's what we eventually wanted. That how much will eventually government do? It's a combination of both the worlds, right? And that's what is actually happening with the 2% of the profits going into the CSR. Significant amount of that money is also getting channelized for sports today, which is very, very heartening to see.
We read a lot about certain companies or studios experimenting on metaverse. And of course, when it comes to any form of launch of any platform, whether it's IPL, etc., Group M plays a very important role. And I know that because when I began my career in advertising, so how do you help a brand or a broadcaster build experiential platforms, etc., to engage viewers, through data, etc.
So honestly, early days as of now, from a sporting point of view, because AR and VR are still, we keep talking about it in terms of how can virtual reality and augmented reality can enhance viewer experience. But from an India point of view, we have just started. If you look at Geo Cinema today, the experience is very, very interactive, and that's what Hotstar did in the last couple of years. So we are taking baby steps into that. So AR and VR are going to be reality of our life from enhancing viewer experience standpoint. But at this point in time, it's a great thing. I mean, I don't know if you got time to catch up live IPL matches on Geo Cinema. I think there are
I
multiple
did. I
cameras.
did. Yeah, I saw the
Yeah.
match over the weekend. Yes,
Yeah, multiple
especially.
cameras and great amount of enhancement with camera angles and stuff like that. So that to me is a great starting point. We have to again evolve in that space also, and definitely work in progress. We have not gotten there completely as yet, but yeah, I think encouraging initiatives and experiments, the technology and adoption of the technology from our television right holders and streaming right holders at this point in time. But how does advertiser embark that journey and become a part of that experiences? Early days, we have seen some great case studies and initiatives and launches in the metaverse, but I think even that space is yet to evolve from an experience
Share an
standpoint. But
example.
so I mean, we have seen a lot of. I mean, you saw Gujarat Titan launch their jersey on Metaverse, right? You saw Volvo launching their car on Metaverse, right? So that was a great experiment. I'm thinking from a user standpoint, how can that evolve and how can that emerge as one of the prime platforms for people to use on a regular basis is a work in progress. That's the way I would put it.
Vineet, Group M recently launched the India Sports Sponsorship Report. Could you share a few takeaways from the report?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, very, very interesting takeaways that have emerged out of our report. The first takeaway is that the sports industry has grown by 49%, okay, over 2021. So our report basically talks about 2022 numbers. So it's grown 49% over 21, and today it stands at 14,209 crores,
Wow.
which is huge. Now, of that 14,209 crores, 85% of that is cricket, as I said, yeah, which is very, very encouraging from a sports end, because every country will have its lead sport, and without any doubts, I mean, our lead sport is going to be is cricket. Now, from a media consumption standpoint, because you had a lot of questions from a media consumption standpoint, so 53% of 14,209 crores is uh, is coming from media spends, which is a combination of TV plus digital. Yeah. So of 14,209 crores, 67, I mean 53% is media. So that's another number which is encouraging. So if you look at the ground sponsorship, which is ground sponsorship plus teams and franchise fee, that's almost close to about 6,000 crores today, which has grown almost 109% over 2021. Now, talking about the share of media in that. So in our media, which is TV plus digital, was about 6,018 crores in 21, which has gone up to 7,553 in 2022, which is almost 26% incremental. Right. So these are some of the encouraging trends that we see from a from an industry standpoint. Another call out before I miss it is the endorsement business of India. Okay, in endorsement we were about 625 crores in 2021, and when I say 625 crores, it's only endorsement done by sports celebrities. That has gone up to 749 crores, which is almost about 20% incremental from 2021. So if you look at any data point, whether it is on ground sponsorship or whether it is on air sponsorship or digital or on endorsements, we have a double digit growth in every single data point, which is very very encouraging, and that possibly answers your previous question in terms of how have we shaped over 2019 pre-COVID and post-COVID, and that's where it is, that we have not only come back to 2019 numbers, we have surpassed that by far. So that's very encouraging, Lohita.
That's fantastic. I was very curious to understand, you said 85% is cricket, but, for most brands, sports can be great ambassadors. So how do what's your outlook on promoting other sports which are non-cricket? How can they really increase their pie in this really competitive market?
See, look, I mean, brands have already embraced sports overall. So if you look at, if I have to give you a number, so over 600 brands uh, are today associated with some shape or form of sport, whether it is connecting with sport on TV, on digital, or on ground, or on team sponsorships, or on endorsements. 600 plus brands have already embarked that journey. So I think it's a very very encouraging sign, because today sport is a very very important aspect of pop culture. And I again say it very proudly that I think I'm privileged to be a part of both the pop cultures. Okay, entertainment and sports are pop cultures of India, whether it's music, whether it's OTT or sports, and I get to work on all of that, right? So that's a great space to be in. And if you look at it, I think I don't think there is any advertising category who has not sampled these platforms, because India has realized, the marketers have realized that we are a young India, and young India obviously is are the first ones to sample pop culture, whether it's music in all shape and form, or the OTT culture, or sports, or any experiments for that matter. Look at the live entertainment segment today. Look at, I don't know if you got a chance to visit Lollapalooza, which happened a
No,
month
Jin
back.
Mahalakshmi, right? Yes, yes.
Lakshmi, okay. I think the kind of crowd we saw and the kind of engagement we saw of that crowd with the brands was so encouraging, and more of these will keep happening in our country. And I think there's so much of headroom to grow, so that engagement continues. So I think most brand categories today have realized that engaging with audience through entertainment and sports is imperative. One prime reason for this, Lohita, is, if you see, entertainment and sports both are very interactive mediums. They are not interruptive mediums. You don't interrupt an audience experience. You only interact with them, and that's one of the key reasons why these businesses are called pop culture, and it actually has got so much impact in short, middle, and long term. And it's a great vehicle for advertisers and brands to build their stories, tell their stories to their target consumer in the most efficient and effective way.
I love what you said, interactive and not interruptive. Do you see a lot of scope, in terms of building, collegiate level leagues, just like what we see in the West, like the NCAA championships, etc.? And, if at all there's something stopping it in India, what are the challenges?
I don't think there's anything stopping it, Lohita, but I mean, that's my dream, by the way. I mean, NCAA format in India would be a dream come true. Very vocal about it and talking about it in media for quite some time.
Yes.
That somewhere, but Hello India to me, Lohita, honestly, is a first step uh, in that direction. Okay, because it basically gets the college and school children to come and compete at one stage. Yeah, so I think if I'm not wrong, the CBSE board, there's some schools in the CBSE board has already started a cohesive effort towards bringing sports as a part of their culture. But somewhere, I see a ecosystem being built by government of India where sport becomes a part of your curriculum at a school and college level.
Yes.
In the West, if you see predominantly in the US and the European market, it's compulsory for every child to adopt a sport at a school level. Now, adopting it's like adopting a math, science, or a history or a geography, right, or a English. Uh, doesn't mean that you have to build a career in that subject, but it's important you know basic nuances of that subject. So what typically happens is most all the students adopt one sport of their choice, okay, and they stay with that sport for some time, and that's the reason why the culture of going to a sporting arena on a weekend or watching it on your television sets or on a streaming platform is very very common in the West. So somewhere it builds a culture of following. It builds a culture of building communities and getting communities together. So somewhere down the line, a program where a subject on sport is compulsory in our curriculum would be a great point and encouragement to the sports sector as such. And slowly, steadily, if that happens, imagine if today 100 people play professional sports and 100 is just a placeholder number, that 100 can very easily become 1,000 for a population of us. More people playing sport professionally, which means that more bench strength. What has cricket done? Cricket, because of the structure that it has in terms of the Ranji Trophy, the Dulip Trophy, the Irani Trophy, the club level cricket, there's a lot of bench strength, and IPL has actually only built that. The bench strength gets created, you have got more world beaters. Every match today, if you see in IPL, is going to the last over, last ball in some cases, right? A new star is built on every second match today. Now, all this happens because cricket is a part of our DNA right from childhood. While it's not compulsory in school, but cricket obviously is cricket in India, right? So somewhere making sport a part of curriculum is going to be yielding great results, and somewhere I think we have started that journey, and work to be done there. And obviously in all our meetings, conferences with government officials, with Sports Authority of India officials, these points are made, discussed, and somewhere everybody agrees that there has to be school sport, college, university level sport. But obviously there are steps. You need to go step by step before it becomes a reality. And I think the day is not too far, Lohita. I think I'm very hopeful that someday we will have a very very structured program for our kids in school and colleges.
Yes, and I'm sure your leadership will help steer that. Also, with all you said, I think, for our viewers, the entertainment industry today has a huge economic impact. Every time a sporting event is held, there are so many allied industries, etc., that benefit. But apart from that, what are the key trends, etc., that you see in 2023? What will catch on? Probably any emerging sport or experience that you're seeing that will really make a mark this year, apart
I
from
think
IPL.
Sure, sure. So I will only speak about the emerging sports. I will not speak about cricket, because cricket obviously is back and how. I think most of the emerging sports which got a muted response because of COVID post that will all come back. So you will see a very different Kabaddi league this year, because this is the first year it will happen with full fan following, fans in the stadiums, and stuff like that. So the marketing initiatives that we saw around emerging sports pre-COVID will come back to its full glory in 2023. I see a lot of non-live content being curated in 2023 because of the entire OTT ecosystem. So, we have seen great amount of shows in Formula One, in basketball globally, and cricket globally. I mean, Cricket Australia did something phenomenal with cricket. I think we will see a similar kind of non-live initiatives in various different sports. Kabaddi has already announced their league for women this year. like the WPL. Kabaddi has announced it already. So non-live emerging sports coming back. Are individual sport athletes doing well at world stage. Uh, uh, so these are some of the trends which we see will come back in its full glory in 2023, and therefore we are quite bullish that if the industry has grown by 49% over 21 to 22, it will definitely grow upwards of 15% in 2023 because of all these initiatives.
What can young professionals do to get into this, industry? Both, if they're sports persons or professionals like yourself.
Okay, so that's a very, very interesting and important question. In fact, I spend a lot of time with the younger generation in their school, in their colleges, predominantly. Most of them who are interested are into. They have taken some courses in sports management and stuff like that. So I always keep telling to these younger kids that it's a great industry to be in, but you need to take baby steps and not look at the helm of affairs, because people look at it from the point of view, or I will go and rise on top of the pyramid in the sports marketing business overnight. It doesn't work that way. I think what you need to look at is sports. You need to look at sport as a holistic sector. Most of the jobs in the sports sector are in sports management, which is also a very blurring in terms of line with the events business, because every sport is an event, right? I mean, today IPL at Wankhede Stadium or at a Chinnaswamy Stadium is an event. So you will need a lot of event management professionals who are eventually delivering a sport. Also, so be open to what happens in the periphery of that, and not only look at the glamorous jobs, because most kids today are thinking about sport as a job which will make them go close to a Virat or a Dhoni or a Saina or a Sindhu. That's not sport only. Okay, sport is has multiple. You can be a digital marketeer in sport. You can be an event manager in sport. You can be a strategist or you can be a hospitality manager in sport. There are multiple different ways to reach out to your goals and dreams through sport as a sector. Glamour is great, but go there step by step. Do not look at only glamour aspect of sport. It's like entertainment business, right? You can't expect everyone to have jobs in a Yashraj or a Dharma, right? You need to start small. Everybody is not lucky to be there on top always. So don't be disheartened. Come, the industry wants younger generation, but start wherever you are getting an opportunity. Learn the tricks of the trade before you unlock your potential dream that you have in mind. People come to us and are only wanting the sports sponsorship job. Sports sponsorship is a very, very premium and a serious job. You need to go there slowly and steadily. I mean, overnight, if you want to be a sponsorship manager for, say, a Tata, I'm not too sure how easy or difficult it's going to be. But you need to learn to be getting there. So take baby steps. Take take jobs that are available. Learn and move on.
Vineet, thank you so much for this interesting and enlightening conversation with us. And, hope to
Thanks, Lohita, for having me
exchange
on
more
further.
ideas, as and when you work on new reports. Thank you so much.
Sure. Pleasure is all mine. Thank you very much.
Thank you.